corporate recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a quantitative developer. So what we need in a quantitative developer is Python or Java, and probably some of this stuff like Pandas, NumPy, Skippy, whatever they call it, SciPy. I hate IT terms. Matplotlib, SQL, real-world data sets, and building reproducible analysis or pipelines, data engineering, so Airflow, Snowflake, Polars, Cloud, AWS, I don't know why I put that twice, so Cloud, Azure, AWS, they all work, Docker, CI/CD, MLOps, real-time and or historical market data or other high-volume time series data, stakeholder management, trading, so basically like stock trading and stuff, and most importantly, even though it's at the bottom of that list, what you use the data for. They don't fully care how you got the data. They just want to know what you can use the data for. So I'm going to have 20 seconds to review this because that is the only amount of time that recruiters have, and see if I can find this stuff in those 20 seconds. We don't know the ratio of this person, and a ratio is how you can tell how good your resume is. A 1 to 50 ratio, which is 1 interview per 50 applications, is okay. It's not the best, but it does pass. So anything above 1 in 50, you're having an issue. So let's review it and go. Okay. Vaccine simulation framework, Python SQL. Okay, cool. Built real-time market data ingestion pipeline. But that's not really a pipe. Again, I'm not really showing how you use the data. Yeah, I don't think this would work. So again, this is like the difference of what we're looking for is people think we're just like keyword hunting, and that's not the case. We are looking for qualifications, and there were the tech qualifications here, but I did not really see how you worked with like stakeholders or other people, how you used the data, which is the most important part. I don't think I actually saw cloud. No, I saw Azure, but you said Azure Linux VM when I'm just really looking for Azure, and it's entirely possible that may be different. So let me read what you wrote, and maybe that will change my mind, but the 20 seconds is all we have. So my contract is coming to an end very soon. I'm writing my resume. I haven't applied to many jobs, so that's why my ratio is unknown. And to clarify, this resume is quantitative developer and tailored towards that. I'll be on stream when the review happens. Hopefully you are. Feel free to let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to send. So yeah, a big issue with this is just like I don't see enough of what I need, right? Like I do see some Git and all that stuff, but you're missing the social skills. And a big thing for quantitative developers is not how you got the data. Like none of the jobs I read really cared that you got the data. They if you threw a dice against the wall and that ended up being accurate, they wouldn't care. But I do care that you can talk to other people and convince them, that you can explain to them what historical market data is, that you can talk to stakeholders and let them know that, hey, based on previous data, which I got by using Python, SQL, and blah, this is going to be a good or a bad idea. Also, again, you need to show me cloud, not cloud plus other stuff. It's entirely probable they don't know what those are. So if you want to do it, you put Azure and then in parentheses Linux VM. So yeah, would this pass? Probably not. Probably not. I just don't really see enough stuff that shows how you used the data. Let's see. Communicated complex ML models through demos and data visualization. Like this one's okay, but again, it's all the way at the bottom, and I just need a little bit more, right? Like, what do you mean executive buy-in? What was the result of it, right? Like, I don't want to see that you just communicated. I want to see that explained complex technical issues to stakeholders so that they could X and Y, right? Like, I need a little bit more. Again, I don't want to say this is a garbage resume, right? Like, this is not a smart person, idiot resume or anything. It's just I need a little bit more. You're like 50% of the way there of what I need to move you forward. So that's all I can really do for this, because again, there's just not enough stuff that I see. Like again, it is written for also a bit of a technical audience, and I need it to be written for non-tech people. So that is all I can do for this resume. If you ever need more help, like this person stated, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I review resumes and I post them live to these videos. So feel free to join, share this video with your friends and family that need a job, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data analyst. So what we need with a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with data, not what that data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines. So can I find that in 20 seconds? Let's find out and go. All right, I can't use any of that except for maybe Python. Okay, there's nothing there. Sales dashboard, okay, but nothing. SQL is fine. Ingesting data, I don't care about. ETL pipeline, okay, yeah, delete. This would be a yeet and delete. So, just graduated trying to land my first data analyst job in the U.S., have only experience in process engineering roles, but tried best to frame it in a way that is catered toward a data role. Most of my skills are showcased in my personal project. So, yeah, this if your skills are showcased in your project, then your work experience shouldn't be first, right? This is the rule of the order of importance, because people are like, should I put this first? And here it is. Relevancy first. If it's not relevant to the job, which it seems like nothing in the process engineering is, it should not be first. Relevancy first. And then it goes relevant work experience, relevant internships, relevant projects. So if you don't have relevant work experience or you don't have relevant internship experience, then you must have relevant projects, and those should be up. The problem is I don't need like half of the stuff you put in here. Yeah, like again, you wrote them too technical and you focused on how you got the data. Everybody technical focuses how you get the data. When you've been in corporate for a while, they don't care. They don't care how you got the data. They don't care that there was a SQL equal pipeline ingestion. They care that you use SQL to create a database for our stakeholders explaining what a number meant. That's what they're looking for. Like, they don't care that you automated a Python census APL ETL API pipeline in AWS processing every country in the nation for scalable analysis. They care what you use that for. Delivered a Power BI Insight storyboard quantifying regional games in bachelor attainment and income. Again, you wrote this too technical. Your job will be to explain to people that don't know how to use Outlook how to interpret the data. And you have already proven to me that you cannot do that by the way you wrote your resume. And I'm aware how unfair and just that sounds, but that's going to be what you're doing. A data analyst is not going to sit there only working with data. They have to explain to the big bosses that, hey, this is what the data means and this is what you need to do based on the data. Because again, I'm not joking, they probably can't write their own emails. They may not know how to use Outlook or Word, and not like a macros and pivot tables. Like, they may not know how to write an email, and you need to explain to them how this data is impactful, which you have failed to do in your resume, and that is why you are struggling. That and the fact is your formatting is off and this is not relevant and needs to be put lower. So fix those. Fix your formatting. Again, this is how your resume should look. I am aware that it looks ugly, but that's the point. Your resume should look ugly and basic and boring. This is on my website. The link is below. That will teach you how to do it. And then not this, because again, nothing here should be bolded. And then this I can't use anything with. It has to be here. You cannot put it off to the corner. And then you will start having more luck, because we are in a recession. We are in a recession right now. We are in massive inflation. There are jobs getting cut off and laid off left and right. Your toughest job search of your life in a good economy is getting your first job, and we are not in a good economy. So those are the things that you need to do that will help you get more interviews, which will get you offers, which will get you a job so you can ride this recession out. Next, resume. This is a resume of a full stack software developer. So what we need is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, API, RESTful API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, .NET or Python or Java, bonus points for architecture, extra language, Git, and DevOps. So that is what we need. Let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. Probably not, because this person had 150 plus ratio, which is terrible. They didn't write me anything else, only that it takes them over 150 to get a single. So let's see what's wrong with this resume. And go. Okay, formatting's bad. Integrated Gmail API to LLM. Okay, well, whatever. LLM. I don't see any full stack tools. Can't use that. Engineer to full stack. Okay, using Spring Boot and Angular. Well, I don't see HTML, JS, CSS, and JavaScript. Don't care about that, and don't care about that, and reject. So there are a lot of flaws with this resume. A, you cannot use a tool section. They don't count. Stop using them. You need to show me how you did the thing and the reason or result of you doing the thing. If you create a skills section, they cannot show that, and thus it does not count. And I did not see most of what I needed, right? I saw a little bit, but I need 75% of this list to move you forward, and I think I only saw about 30 to 40%. So we need better bullet points. We need to remove the tools section and put them into the actual bullets, and we need better formatting. It's a little fuzzy because I had to take this from a JPEG. I don't know why they sent a JPEG, but whatever. And I converted it to a PDF. But even beyond that part, nothing here should be bolded. This should be just black. This line shouldn't be here. Same thing with this. No bolding here. No bolding here. This should be italicized. This should be italicized. Again, it should look like this. This is how it should look. So then we go to the bullet points. And again, you are focusing on stuff I don't care about. I care about this stuff, but I care about how you did it. So I need you to write this stuff like you wrote this stuff. And then you can get interviews. And if everybody's complaining about why I should not do this, this is why they're failing. And I assume maybe they needed an international student. But this is partly why they're failing, is because, again, you have to write them in the bullet points or it does not count. You cannot put them there. I wish I could move you forward. I want to be clear. It would be so much easier. Then all I would need to do is just keyword search and I see JavaScript. There we go. Move forward. But I can't. If I do that, I would get fired. So you need to put them in the bullet points and you need to tell me how you did it and the reason or results you did it. And you need this stuff at least for full stack. Yeah, because this is why you're struggling, is none of this stuff is relevant at all, except for Spring Boot and Angular. But that's all I can do, because again, this is a formatting issue, this is a bullet point issue, and this is the fact that they used a skills section, which is one of the reasons they're getting declined. Next, resume. This is a resume of a data analyst. They also said business analyst, but again, you need your resume to be specific for a job title, and business analyst and data analyst require two different things, right? They've got like 30 to 40% of the similar stuff, but the rest of it is going to be different enough that a really successful data analyst resume will fail to get you a business analyst job, and vice versa. So, what do we need in a data analyst? Degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders. How you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. That is like one of the biggest issues. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects, and deadlines, and a bonus for cloud. So, let's see what I can do. And go. SQL, okay, but I don't care about libraries. Okay, that's kind of okay. 3 friction points, I don't care about that. Don't care about that. Automated reporting dashboard, that's okay. And decline, yeah, you don't have enough stuff. Again, you focused on what the data was and how you got the data rather than what you used the data for. This is actually an okay bullet point, although you wrote it poorly. But let me see what you wrote. So, applying in Ireland, India, and Dubai. Okay, well, first off, I am a US-based recruiter. I have never been to those places, nor have I recruited in those places. So, my advice may not fully translate. I've gotten people jobs in Africa, UK, Canada, and the EU. but sometimes my advice does not fully translate, right? Like, there's just some slight differences that I'm not going to be aware of. So, not getting calls at all. Well, first off, I will ask this is, do you have the proper work authorization? I don't know. Maybe you do. But this resume is also bad. So, submitted over 500 applications, only got 2 calls. I feel like my resume is good. It is not. It is not a good resume. It is a bad resume. Not sure what I'm doing wrong. Desperately need some help. So yeah, assuming you have the proper work authorization, which I truly do not know for those places, this is not a good resume. Like, this is so hyper specific that you would need to be a data analyst or somebody else of that degree to get it. And there's so many percentages and numbers. Like, I don't care about these numbers. The amount of numbers that should be in your resume, except for salespeople, should only be about 2 to 3, not counting dates of employment. You should, or your phone number. You should not have any real numbers in this, right? Like, maybe the team size, that's okay. Or if you're doing management or sales, those numbers. But for everybody else, you don't want these numbers. This is like the new meta that gets people rejected. I don't know what you call that, like the anti-meta, where people will just sort of put in a bunch of these random numbers, like 30,000 user feedback with 32 to 50 from 35 to 42. And I don't care about any of that, right? Like, I don't care that you establish analytical workflows and documentation standards. Creating SQL library and Python templates is fine, but what analysis turnaround time? What was the point of that? Why is that important? I don't know. You did not tell me. This is a bad resume. So here's how we fix it. First off, fix your formatting. You won't need to do a ton. Again, it should look like this. Then where's your education? Your education should be up at the top. And we need to change these bullet points. Like, this is incomprehensible. The only one that is almost salvageable is this one, right? Lead revenue analysis by customer segment on indecipherable, using SQL and Excel, something I can actually get behind. Identifying the top 15% of users. Okay, generated 65%, too many numbers, of revenue. Insights led to leaderboard functionality and high-value user retention. You know what you could have told me? Right? You could have said, let's see, like, created or used revenue analysis to inform stakeholders that the top percent of users generated the top percent of revenue, leading them to change their retention strategy. That is what I would want to see. Right? You can still put SQL and Excel in there, but that's how I would want that to be written. This is incomprehensible. You're trying to use corporate language. Stop. No. Bad. Do not use corporate language. You want to use plain, boring language. It should be written like a governmental form. But this is incomprehensible. And I still barely found enough of what I needed. Right? Created automated reporting dashboards using Tableau. Good. That's actually a good part. After conducting requirements gathering sessions, okay. Tracking 15 businesses, I don't need the 15. Providing weekly insights to C-suite. Again, like, I need a little more than that. Like, what was the point of creating those dashboards? You told me how you made the dashboards, but I don't care about that. I care about what you use the dashboards for. Who used them? What was the point of using them? And you don't say that. And that is a problem with this entire resume. Let's go to the next one. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. The formatting is weird because they sent this to me as a JPEG. There's a lot of questions about, like, should you use a image file, or should you use Word, or should you use PDF? And the answer to that is, with your resume, is it doesn't matter. Word, PDF, Google Docs, they actually all work. They're fine. As long as it's those three, you're good. The problem is if you submit it as a JPEG or an image file, the ATS may not read it. But as long as you submit it in those three, PDF, Word, or the Google Docs version, you're fine. This person sent it as a JPEG, so that's why it looks so off, which don't do that, please. Send me Word or PDFs or Google Docs. That way I can actually, don't have to reduce the quality of it. So what we need for an intern is honestly not a lot. We need a degree, a basic knowledge of the tech stack, So language, library, SQL, cloud, ability to work well with others, takes direction and criticism, and that's kind of it, right? Like, again, it's not very complicated what they're looking for. The problem with most interns is they overcomplicate it. In fact, the problem with a lot of resumes is they overcomplicate it. In every single case, a recruiter and manager is going to be looking for the basic qualifications. And they all put these hyper crazy things in when we're looking for the basics. So this person's ratio, they said, is 1 in 100, which is not good, but could be a lot worse. It's like a D grade. So let's see if I can find this in 20 seconds. And go. Full stack client, React, Node, and MongoDB. Okay, good. RESTful APIs. Okay, solid. Scalable. Okay, PyTorch and Hydra. That's okay. Full stack, well, no, don't care. Again, I really need more. Yeah, this would be a decline. Yeah, decline. So again, they had some of the tech, right? You had about 60% of the tech I needed. If you're saying full stack, you need to say TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. The amount of engineers that I've gotten hired by just putting JavaScript, HTML, and CSS because they thought it was too basic is incalculable. Well, it is calculable. I just don't have those records on hand. But those have gotten more people jobs than I think anything else is just putting those on. So stop thinking because it's basic you can ignore it. You want the basic. If you think it's basic that everybody should have it, that should be on your resume more than once. So that is one problem with this. Second is formatting. This is I can't actually highlight it. So yeah, this should be changed. Again, you want it to look like this. All right. This is peak. It looks ugly, which is the point. This is hard to read. Then we get into the real problem here is you need a little bit more of the tech, remember, but I don't see how you work well with others. I don't see how you take direction and criticism. And unless you have like 20 other internships, I still need that, right? Like I need to know that you can work well with others. I will say you don't need it as much because you have 3 other internships, but I still want to see a little bit about how you worked well with others. So change that, make the tech stack something I actually care about, which again, RESTful APIs, React, and MongoDB is good, but where's the basics? I need the basics. The basics will get you a job. Basic Python, Java, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I need those. And then stop putting in these percentages because I can tell you right now, no recruiter cares. There's like 2 recruiters that care about this, and they're probably not very good at their job. You need to stop with all these percentages, all right? Make it basic, make it boring, make it easy to read. You will get more interviews. So, did you tell me anything else? But yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I can do for this is that you just need a little bit more, fix the formatting, and then like 1 bullet point extra about working together, and you should be good. So that's all I can do for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you ever need more help, you can join my Twitch chat, which is twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I review these live, and I will see you all in the next episode to help you get ahead of your job search.